What up, y'all? This is Joseph Cabello, Zeek Gomez, on episode 2 of Body Art Banter. Welcome back.
So man, it's been a while since we did the last episode, but been hearing a lot of good feedback, and I'm super stoked to start this one. So, just want to start off with, so Joseph, how long have you been tattooing for?
I've been tattooing for 14 years in October.
And where'd you start tattooing? Because I know a lot of your earlier years you were out in LA, but did you ever tattoo out here in Tulare before you went out to LA?
So my first tattoo was here in Tulare, but pretty much everything after that was in LA. So I came up for the most part down south. I was tattooing out of the house for like 3 or 4 years.
Before you went out to LA?
No, I moved to LA when I was 17.
Oh, okay.
And then when I turned 18, I got my first tattoo. And then once I got my first tattoo, I was like, dude, I need to do this shit. So I said, fuck it, I just got a kit and started working on getting good at tattooing. The girl at the time that I was with, her cousin was a tattooer and he had tattooed me. And he kind of showed me more or less how to set up a machine. But I was just working off of memory, and there wasn't like too much shit on YouTube back then or anything, so there wasn't very much information. I just like fucked up hella people.
Fuck. Yeah, but that's why we have homies, right?
For real. Nah, but it's fun though. I mean, I was just like, I don't even like, not delirious. What's the word? Like, what is it called? Delusional. I was just like mad delusional, son. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking get good as fuck at this in like a year.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. It was funny.
Dude, I feel you. I've had that thought too. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill this shit. And then like you get into it and then you're like, fuck, this is a lot harder than it seems. Like, like I thought this shit was just drawing on people, but nah.
Yeah. I think the best, like at the beginning, if you don't have guidance, is like, because I could always draw. Like I took art classes and I was going to school for art and stuff. And my art teacher in high school was just really good. She like really helped me out a lot. But I would be drawing these drawings. I could already draw like portraits pretty good. Or like I would draw like skulls and stuff, and I could copy Flash. And I would tattoo it, and like the drawing's like right next to the tattoo, and like it's painfully obvious that it doesn't match at all. And like I'm just like making eye contact with the client, and then like looking at the tattoo and looking up, and they're like, damn, that's sick. And I'm like, I'll do this one. Like you can tell like it did not look good like at all. And that was like the worst, the most like crushing thing for me at the beginning, was like not being able to tattoo what I could draw.
Oh dang. So you were doing portraits like when you were 7, like when you were in high school?
Yeah. I just always like drawing faces. Like I would just always draw faces, and I was really shy, so that's kind of how everyone knew me, was from drawing. Like in my yearbook, since I was like in first grade, people were like, it's cool seeing you draw, like you're super quiet, but keep drawing, or like, have a good summer, keep drawing, have a good summer, like you're drawing. I was like, I don't know you, but keep drawing.
And now it's like, yeah, dude, you hella tattooed, keep tattooing.
For real.
That's what's up, dude. What'd your parents say when they saw you that you were really inclined to draw?
They were supportive, but like the culture out here at that time wasn't really, in the art. They didn't really know what to do with me, and I was really hell bent on at the time to like become a professional wrestler. That was like my dream, dude.
You wanted to be a professional wrestler?
Yeah, my brother, he got we started doing backyard wrestling. And when he got out of the Marines, he used his GI Bill to buy a wrestling ring. We started doing shows and stuff. So like that's actually where I started learning how to like edit, was way back in like middle school, because he was always like into computers and shit. And we would film stuff, and then I would edit it, and we'd cut promos and do all sorts of shit. And like by the time I was 17, like I was like, hell yeah, I could do this. Like I was all crazy and willing to jump off of anything really, like roofs, ladders, whatever. It didn't matter. Like I was down to like do crazy shit like that all the time.
Is there any stunt that you performed back then that stands out of your mind when you think about it? Like think about back then?
Oh yeah, dude, we did this performance at Live Oak where like we jumped off the gazebo
Holy
and like
shit.
people were just tripping out because we did thumbtacks too. And I had told my brother, like, hell no, like, fucking don't do the thumbtacks. Like, we don't need to do that. Like, all, like, trying to be a wrestling purist. I was like, we can do storytelling without violence. And then they ended up bringing the thumbtacks out, and then they threw them all out. My brother had, like, thumbtacks all over his head, and he's all bleeding out of his back. And
Holy
then,
shit, you guys were about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys
real.
were about it.
Yeah, but they had thumbtacks all over the ring, and I'm supposed to, like, jump off the gazebo and do, like, a leg drop. And right before that, my friend Don does, like, a swanton bomb. So I was like, okay, well, now I have to fucking get down with this because they just did it. I was like, oh, dude, like, I hella don't want to do this. So I had, like, hella thumbtacks in my ass after that. But it was fun. I mean, once everyone was like, oh, shit. Like, when you get a pop like that and you're, like, a fiend for attention like me, then, you know, it's all worth it.
No, yeah.
And then people were tripping out because they're like, oh, are they fake? And my brother's like, selling it, going through the crowd, and he's like pulling the thumbtacks out of his head, and they're like, oh my god, like it's real blood. It's like his fucking eyeballs all bleeding and shit.
That's crazy.
Those were some of the best times for sure.
Do you feel like that stuff, like being outgoing like that and having like that much, cause it takes a lot of courage to do stuff like a lot of courage to do stuff like that. You think that's helped you in your tattoo career? Or like having that love for showmanship and...
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of people when they first start tattooing, they're like so afraid to hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And like I just had like no remorse from the beginning, and I was just like, I know what I'm doing, and I'll fucking be tattooing people, just like fucking their skin up. And I I just never cared, you know, like I kind of care now, but probably not as much as most people. I try to have a light hand, but I just want to make sure the tattoo looks good. And that's like the biggest hurdle for people to like just get over it and like get the job done, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel that, dude. I remember when I first started, I was really scared to hurt people. And then when I would see like you in my early days, like just go for it, I'd be like, damn, that's what you need to do. Just freaking get through it.
I had like the most false sense of confidence like in the world because of wrestling. I was like, I could do anything, and fucking.
Y'all, you can fly.
Yeah.
It's like, you can even fly.
You could literally fly. And I was like trying. Nah, I mean it was so bad that like I didn't know who Nico Hurtado was, and I followed him on MySpace. I just thought he was some like regular ass dude or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, these are cool. I could do that. And then I ended up going to another tattoo expo and watching him do a portrait, not knowing like Nico's Nico.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there. They let me watch for like 6 hours, and then I was like, okay. And then I went home from the convention and like I attempted like a realistic scorpion. I was like, oh, I got this shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know, like, dude, like who the fuck do you think you are? I'm just like this young ass kid, like trying, like just going all for it. But I didn't have no guidance or anything because I was working out of the house. So
shit.
I just figured like, I got it.
How did the scorpion end up?
It came out cool. Like, it was alright, but it definitely wasn't, like, on that level, you know? The drawing looked way better than the tattoo, for sure.
And how old were you when you first saw Nico?
I was 18.
18?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. So, like, right in the beginning, you knew, like, the possibilities of tattooing and stuff, huh?
Kind of.
Like,
I would just watch LA Ink and pretty much, like, copy everything they did. I would just pretend I was them. Because I was so quiet, like...
Did you also pick on Aubrey?
No, I'm all writing hate mail. I used to stay up really late and just write fake letters to Aubrey and just be like, you fucking suck.
I know, like, why are you at the shop?
No one likes you, go home. Your elbows are dumb. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was, I don't know what was going on with me. I don't know. I probably had a lot of CTE from wrestling and shit because I got like 4 really bad concussions. So I'm just like walking around in Wonderland for like 4 or 5 years, I think.
Oh, shit. So when you were younger, you did you watched like the LA Ink and Miami Ink and stuff like that?
When it was like 07, so I think my first exposure to tattoos on TV was in like 06. I had always been drawing tattoos for people in school, and they'd always come back like not looking like the drawings. And one time I went to a shop with my friend, and I had drawn like some realism stuff, and they were like, dude, that's not even possible to tattoo. So I never really liked tattooing because I was like, oh, you can't do shit with tattoos. So then once I saw Kat Von D and them like getting down, I was like, oh no, like you can do that stuff. So that's when I was like, I could do it, but
That's tough.
but yeah, I very much stressed that like I was very delusional at the very beginning, which was good, but also like if I was guiding me, I would have been like, hey, you need to like slow down.
What do you think was the moment you realized it wasn't gonna be as easy as it seemed, or like what started you to like respect the crafts of tattooing?
I guess when I got an apprenticeship, because
Where'd you get your apprenticeship at?
at Oceanfront Tattoo in Venice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was when I like started respecting it a lot more. Mainly because those fools probably would have beat the shit out of me if I did.
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh fuck. But they were super cool with me. They even let me tattoo at home.
Oh, that's
During
rare.
my apprenticeship, which is like, I would never let anybody do that shit. But they were looking out for me. They knew I moved out there and like I relied on that income. But I did make an effort to like get a job and kind of slow down on tattooing. During that apprenticeship, I was working my ass off, dude. I was just like, it really did make me respect what's going on, and that was the first time I was exposed to like things in person and understanding like, oh, I don't know shit. Like I didn't know anything, and it really humbled me a lot being around these hungry artists that, you know, I couldn't compete with. Whenever I was in art school, like I always felt like I was doing good, but I didn't really have anybody that I was identifying with, I guess, the way that I worked or the type of work I was doing. And when I got there, they just shit all over me, and I just couldn't figure out a lot of stuff. And it was great being like that because it made me realize how much I didn't know. And up until then, I just thought I knew everything. And I was already like 21. So
Shit.
that's like 3 or 4 years of like, yeah, I'm looking pretty good. And then I see that and I'm like, oh god.
Yo, shit, the streets are real out here.
But we had a really insane crew, and I wish I had my little placard from there, the advertisement thing, because we have like one of the most solid lineups like any shop I've ever seen have, you know,
Hell
up
yeah.
until recently. But just hitters, everyone's heavy hitters. We had 4 different types of portrait artists. We had traditional Japanese artists. We had traditional American traditional. We had like a new school traditional. People that specialize in lettering. Like everyone was painting, and it was just insane, dude. It was great exposure to like what it could be.
Yeah, that's one more thing you asked for in the beginning. Huh? Get all that inspiration in.
Mm-hmm. I just got put in the right place at the right time, because I had no idea. I didn't know what I was setting myself up for. Like I had been walking around for like a year and a half trying to get an apprenticeship, and everyone just closed their doors on me. Or some people were nice, some people were rude, most people were rude. Most people would let me sit in the lobby and then never talk to me, and I would just be like, okay, well, I probably better go because I have to catch the bus.
Then they would just sit you in the lobby?
Yeah, and I'll just sit there. There's like 3 or 4 times I remember I would just sit there, have my book, and then no one would talk to me. They knew what I was there for, and then I was like, okay, well, fuck, because I had that DUI, like I wasn't able to drive, so I was using the bus for a minute. So I'd be like, dang, I can't even stay because the buses are gonna end or something. Yeah.
Damn. And who'd you talk to at Oceanfront that finally like gave you the break, or how did that day go when they finally like, hey, you're up if you want to work here?
It was so I was going through some like, I don't know, like young people, oh, the world's against me shit, and it had already been a year and a half walking around, so I was about to give up. I was like, oh man. But this dude named, I think his name was Corey, he worked at studio in Culver City. He had told me about Oceanfront and that they were looking for an apprentice, and I had a portfolio, and he was like, he's like, honestly, bro, your tattoos like really suck. Take them all out, put all your artwork in there, and then my homie Mike is looking for an apprentice. Take your book, and maybe they can help you out or whatever. And he's just like really blunt with me, and I'm used to critique, so I was like, oh hell yeah, like that was a little jewel for me. I just took all my tattoos out, crying. I'm all, fuck, I do suck.
You don't fucking.
And then, yeah, I went that same day to Oceanfront, and I had told him that he had sent me, and they took my portfolio, and I was all bummed because I was like, fuck, like I didn't really have money to print another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I left it there, and then they didn't hit me up for like another month. So it wasn't like, oh, like it's gonna work out. It was like a month of just being like, dang, like.
So for a month you just didn't have your portfolio. You just.
I printed another one out.
Oh, you printed.
But the one that I had gave them, I think I printed at Kinko's, and I just used regular computer paper for the next one. It was like cheap black and gray at the school. Yeah, they hit me up just randomly. I remember like being in my car, and they're like, hey, you want to come help us out? You can clean the shop or whatever. And then I just cleaned the shop for a little bit, and then they ended up telling me like, hey, like, you want to apprentice? Or like, we think we'd be down to have you or whatever. And that's when it really started.
And how was your apprenticeship like?
It wasn't too crazy. I mean, like, I've heard a lot of crazier stuff from like people like you or like other artists, you know, and I did see a lot of shit though in Venice. Venice was fucking nuts, man. I'd been living in LA for like 3 or 4 years, and that was the most culture shock I think I ever had. It was just like bums and gangs and, you know, tattoo drama and just everything and anything you could get yourself into was there. So it was really cool though, and then being exposed to all the art was like the best part. But yeah, I just scrubbed tubes, cleaned clamps, cleaned it after my homie Mike's dogs.
Dude, they put you to work right there.
Yeah, I used to have to give them rides and stuff, and they didn't know I had fake tags, but I never told them. Like, oh man. But yeah, they would be like, hey, we need to go to Ross or something, or we need to go to fucking here or there, and I would just drive them around and stuff.
Shit, you never got stopped with your fake tags, dude?
No. You know what's crazy is I had them for a couple years, and then I ended up getting my tags and clearing up some old ticket or some shit, and then like 2 days after that, I was driving up to the bay, and I got pulled over just randomly for nothing. The fool just pulled me over. Like I get stopped randomly by everyone all the time, so cops, fucking TSA, they're just like, it's so random that they check me every time I go anywhere.
No, this guy's suspicious looking.
But yeah, I was like, oh, like, what's going on? And he's like, where are you going? And I was like, to San Francisco. And he's like, oh yeah? And then he just checked my license and registration, and then I was cleared, and I was like, oh my God, if he had got me 3 days ago, I would have been fucked.
Yeah, I know when you told me that the first time, I was like, that's a sketchy situation.
It's cool though. I mean, like I said, I was young and delusional, and I was like, oh, it's me against the world's against me. I probably could have just saved up for a month and been able to pay that shit, but I didn't.
And then how long was your stay at Oceanfront for?
It was only like 6 or 7 months. They ended up letting me go. They needed somebody to be there more, and while I was apprenticing, I was a full-time student, so I was taking 5 classes.
Oh shit!
I had a part-time job at Color Me Mine, and then I was apprenticing there, doing my duties there, and then I was also tattooing at home, like from 11 to like 4 in the morning. So it was just like a really, really busy schedule.
How'd you sleep, dude?
I usually didn't. I would just stay up. And when I was younger, I could just do that. So that's what I did.
So you had all this going on, and you were taking the bus to all your stuff?
I think around then I started having a car. So that was good. But sometimes I would have to take the bus because I didn't want to I felt like if I was driving too much, I was risking it. So if I was going to the shop, I would take the bus. Or if I was going to work, I would take the bus. But the bus is pretty convenient. The only thing is, like, you see some weird shit. I remember one time I was coming from LAX, and there was some dude that sat in front of me, and I could see his reflection in the window, and fucking, that fool fucking farted. And he looked me dead in the eyes in the window, and I was just like, what the fuck, dude? He's some homeless fool. And then he just got off, like, at the next stop. I was like, oh my God. I was like,
he just
I need to fucking get my tags, bro.
Dude, he just crop dusted you and dipped.
I about farted like a motherfucker. He's even sounded and everything, and I like looked around, everyone heard him. But he's like looking in the window, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. We're just making like little far eye contact, I guess. I was like, man.
That was a challenge, man. He was
Yeah.
like, he was asserting his dominance. So from there, how'd you end up working at Hollywood Stars?
So I got let go, and then I was still in school, and I just started tattooing at home. I got let go from coloring mine too, kind of. And then my financial aid officer ended up plugging me in there. He was a graffiti artist, and he was dating somebody that was working there. And they just invited me to get out there, so I went and took the opportunity, and they ended up liking me, so I was able to get a spot. I didn't have a booth, but they would let me hang out and tattoo there with walk-ins and stuff, so it was good times. But even then, it was like they kind of didn't know me, so they were kind of like filling me out, and like they didn't really give me anything right off the bat or nothing.
And how old were you when you started working there?
23 or something like that.
Oh, dang. And was it, when you first went there, was that the first, like, when you first went there, did you talk to Eric and, like...
No, actually, he didn't show up. He told me to come at 12, and I didn't know that he only showed up at 4.
Oh, so you were there for like...
Yeah. So
4
I
hours?
actually went twice, and he didn't come through, and I got to know Kana, because he's always there, and we hit it off, and then finally I got to meet Eric, I think the 3rd time I went. So...
Oh, so you didn't even get to meet him till the 3rd time that you were there?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. So
But Kana was nice, so I was like, oh, cool, because, like, dude, I literally had, like, people shut the door in my face or, like, just be rude as fuck to me. So I was like, oh, well, at least he's talking to me, shit.
Hell yeah.
Because tattooing was different back in the day, and, like, that was even back in the day. Like, I'm young compared to, like, some of these tattooers, and, you know, the way that they were treated is even way crazier. So it's all different now. People are a lot more polite.
Oh, yeah. A lot more respect, yeah.
It's because of Yelp.
Oh, yeah.
Yelp fucked everything up.
Yeah, Yelp fucked everything up. You'll get... If you're rude, people will know that you're a rude artist real fast. And then how long into you guys, like, getting to know each other, did they offer you a job there? Or offer you, like, a spot?
Maybe like a month, I think.
Oh, that's what's up. And how was your experience there? Because I know you've talked about it before.
Oh, dude, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like my second home still. You know, they're very family oriented, and
Oh, yeah, really good people.
yeah, I love being there. It's always like going back home whenever I get back there. I've seen a lot of crazy shit there too, but just not as wild as the beach, you know. And it's not anything to the shop. It's just the beach is nuts. You know, anybody that's worked at the beach knows like there's always something cracking out there.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've seen at the beach out there?
Just like people deucing like right outside the shop or something in the alley, or like I remember the first time I was gonna take the bus home and they're like, nah, like you can't be walking around here at night. And I was like that, and then so they would give me rides at night sometimes because of that, and then just like gangsters, and then seeing old people fight. I seen this.
You've seen old people fight out there in the beach?
They had like the slowest hooks, but man, they were effective. There was this old fool that was fighting another old fool, and I remember we knew the dude, and they would fight all the time. They had like vendettas against each other, and so like Young was working there at the time, and I remember he came in on his bike, and he had like kind of a crazy voice. He come in, he's like, "Oh my God, they're fighting! My dude, I have to get down there!" And so we all dropped everything, and we go out there, and these two old fools are like swinging at each other. And one of the guys like swing, like they're literally like coming all the way like this, like almost like that same pace.
That old style.
So we're like duck, and the other dude doesn't duck, and the still gets hit, and he's just out. Bam! And we're just like, oh, dude. Like, I don't know, but yeah, these two dudes that were particularly fighting that day, they were getting fights all the time, and we would just sit there and watch them. It was like bum fights kind of, but they weren't bums. They were just old dudes. I'm very grateful that they gave me the opportunity to get out there. Like I said, the art is just like was on another level, and I don't know where else I could have got exposed to that.
What artists there inspired you? What kind of opened your eyes there, or what kind of art did they expose you to that you didn't get to see out in at school?
Well, my school, I went to the Art Institute, and you know, they really didn't teach us shit. They kind of taught us how to use computers, but there's a lot of people that graduated from there that couldn't draw at all.
Really?
And you really just had to take advantage of your environment and like go an extra effort if you wanted to get good. Like I used to crash classes with my friend Lanny at SMC, and I would learn more from there, or like do his homework from his junior college and learn more from there than anything. So the only thing that the Art Institute really helped me out with is like DIY stuff. You know, I always tried or figured out how to like learn things and do things myself because of that school, because they would like have teachers that would pretty much just put on YouTube tutorials and be like, oh yeah, like just watch this for an hour, and then they dip, and then I'm like, dude, I just paid how much for this class?
Damn.
I'm like, oh, this is such a ripoff. But then I learned like, oh, like I could teach myself stuff if I really want to learn it. So I mean, that's good. But
was that what they told you after after your last day? Is that we have taught you how to teach yourself? So they kind of taught you how to fish. That was like at the end of
you're welcome.
For this unvaluable lesson. Oh wait, it's $90,000.
You'll never be able to buy a house or a car, but you're welcome.
Mm-hmm. But you can fish.
Yeah, I was such bullshit whenever I was an environment artist, and I had to like model and texture and do lighting, and everything's like by hand, and well, not by hand, but on the computer it's like one thing after the other. And then the quarter that I was gonna graduate, there was this new program where like you could take a picture, like 5 or so pictures of an object, and then send it to the cloud, and they send it back, and it'd be modeled, lit, and textured. And I was like, oh,
what?
And then the creative director was like, yeah, this is crazy, huh? It's like all the things that we've just been learning, like we have to all start over. And I was like, I'm about to graduate in like 2 weeks. Like, I don't want to fucking hear that.
That's what he told you? He's all guess what? You have to relearn a new system.
Just like walked away. I'm all, what the fuck, dude?
That's crazy.
But I don't know. I guess it was a good lesson to like, you got to keep up with the times.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless. Things are just always changing. I'm always open to new technology, wireless machines, wireless lights.
Oh yeah,
Abby light.
I've seen that working with you. You were always like experimenting with new stuff. That's kind of how it helped me just like try to be able to adapt to any machine. Because you're the first one I've ever seen with a stylus machine. That shit blew my mind the first time I seen it.
Yeah, I saw that dude Darnell Wayne with one, and I was like, oh, I gotta get one of those. I feel like it changed everything for me too.
When you first saw it, did you know that was the future?
I wanted it to be. I thought that tattoo artists were too like in their old ways, so I didn't know if they were gonna like stop it from growing that way. But it seems like they did it, or they couldn't. They couldn't stop it. So.
Dude, no. Especially because it's so easy to use and it's so light on your hands. Like the traditional ways are super, super awesome. But hey, I challenge anybody that just works with quills, just use the rotary one time and then see how your hands feel.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, just one time. And if it's not comfortable, then fuck.
Then you get your money back, but not from us.
Yeah, I'll buy that shit off you, but you probably won't sell it.
No, I had to switch because my hands started hurting, and I was only like 25, and like I felt like that old man hurt. Like I was at the beach, and the wind hit my hands, and they just started aching. And I was like, oh
shit.
No, well, this is not good. So instantly I switched to rotaries like right away.
Oh dang. Yeah, that's a good reason to fucking to switch, dude.
Yeah, that shit's scary. It's like your whole livelihood right there.
Is there any like I know you just recently got these the Fabulites?
Yes.
Yeah. So how'd you come across that?
My buddy JC, he's actually the one that's putting them together, and he hooked me up with some a couple weeks ago, and you know I'm all about wireless everything. So they're like one of the most convenient things that you could use. I don't have mine set up right now, but I'll have to post some pictures on our Instagram so that you guys can see them. And they're also travel friendly. I love traveling with tattooing, so anything I can do to like make my pack smaller is always good. So it'll break down to like only be like this big, almost like double the size of your machine. You know,
that's like that nothing.
Big. I love it.
And you got that the last time you were out there with Travis Ross and the Lost Cove crew, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How'd your guys' event go?
It went good. I'm like always really impressed with Travis. I don't even know how he does the stuff that he does. He's really good at promoting. He's really good at throwing events. He's very good at creating a vibe. You know, like whenever you experience the Lost Cove, you know, like, okay, this is something, like, you feel like you're a part of something, even if you're just like a client. Like, I feel like everyone that comes in, they enjoy themselves, and everyone's always asking, like, oh, when are you guys coming back? But that's part of the experience. Like, we don't come back. We're like a mirage.
Yeah. The last time they were here, that's how it felt. Like, it was just like a real they make it like a real, give it a different vibe than the usual. And how'd you, did you meet Travis when you were out there in LA?
Yeah. We never really worked together, but we worked around each other. There was always, like, he'd be in the shop, then I'd be in the shop, or I'd be in the shop, then he was in the shop, like, and then we seen each other at conventions and stuff like that. So that man has been working so hard for so long, like, it's hard not to, like, if you were doing the convention circuit at the time, you knew who he was because he was just hitting all of them, and it's so taxing, dude. Like, I respect anybody that's down to do that stuff because you really have to sacrifice a lot. And if you really hit it hard, like, you can have success, but it's just one of the most difficult things. And my hat just goes off to him. I always tell him that, like, I'm just nothing but respect because I know what it takes, and I chose not to do that because it's just so hard, dude. Like, you miss everything. Being on the road is just tough, man.
And did you start doing conventions with at Hollywood Stars?
Yeah, we did one convention with Oceanfront, but I didn't work it. I just helped them out. And then, yeah, my first convention with Hollywood Stars was the Body Art Expo in what is it, Pomona? Yeah, that was a fun one.
And how was that experience?
Dude, it was dope. That was my first convention, and I actually got first place with the Frankenstein portrait.
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah. I was still a little tatter-tot, and I was just, I couldn't believe it, dude. Like,
dude, hell yeah. How'd you feel after you won the first place?
I really couldn't believe it. I was like, I thought I had lost because I didn't get second or third, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to get first. And then when I ended up winning, I remember they called third and second, and I was like, oh, man, I was already going to walk away, and then Connor was all, just wait. And I was like, come on, let's go. And then he's like, hold on. And then they said my name, and I was like, duh! What? Let out a little fart. I was like,
hey, Connor knew.
Yeah, no, it was sick, dude. So, I mean, it being my first convention and being exposed to that, and then seeing all these badass artists, I didn't think I had a chance at all. So it was a good thing that happened, and I'm glad it happened then because I actually appreciated it. And I think if it would have been like a couple years earlier, I would have been like, oh, whatever, you know, I was a little fucking asshole. So.
And after that experience, did you want to like hit the circuit a lot harder?
Oh yeah, dude, I felt so bad. Like, now I know how much work Eric put into me, but at the time I didn't really realize. You know, when you're young, you don't see what people are doing for you until you have to do it for someone else.
Oh yeah.
But we hit tons of conventions, man, and he's not like a huge fan of conventions. And I'd be like, let's do this one, and you know, he was fronting the money, doing the paperwork, and I'm just like, yeah, let's go. And he took me.
Hell yeah.
And he showed me the ropes. He introduced me to people, and it was awesome. It was great. I loved it. But I did learn, like, it's not really about like the convention or the people there. It's more about like who you go with. You know, like it was always funner or more fun. My bad. When we did it like as a shop, like if Art went, he's another artist there, and Connor went with us. Like, we always made our own little environment. You know, we didn't really like hop on people's waves or anything. Like, if we got invited to something, we go, but we never try to put ourselves in positions or nothing like that, because I don't know, it just seemed whack. You know, he was Eric's a very humble dude, and he just kind of showed me like, hey, like, we're cool, we can be cool with each other, you know, like, we can have a good time. We don't have to like go be on somebody's nuts just to go have a drink with them or something. Yeah,
dude, I feel you. That's tight, dude. You see, that's those jewels like you only get being around those seasoned tattoo artists.
I mean, it's a game, you know. A lot of those people are trying to climb the ladder, but it's better just let things happen organically if they're gonna happen. Not try to force it and be like, oh my god, you're so cool. I want to fucking, you know, give you a hand job.
Give you a quick hand
That's
job
what
in
it
the
seems
restroom
like
real quick.
sometimes. But yeah, I think that the timing was just right because I was like, you know, learning from the right person and I had the right environment to appreciate what was going on. Whereas like a couple years beforehand, I didn't have the maturity and I was a little bit too reckless to probably thrive in an environment like that. In a healthy environment. I was too unhealthy to be in a healthy environment, I think.
Yeah, because their shop's really cool, man. They're really good people, and they just, like, they're about their business for sure out there in Hollywood Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I super see that when I go over there. They're really cool. And you still go out there to Hollywood Stars and guest spot sometimes, huh?
Yeah, I go out there as often as I can. I've been trying to go out there even more. They only got a couple artists right now, so anything that we can do. And our shop's going a lot, so it's a good time.
Hell yeah. Do you know of any upcoming dates you're going to be, when's the next time
I
you'll be out
should
there?
be there next month. I'll probably do a couple days in August. I don't know the dates for sure, but I know I'm going to Ventura the 29th and 30th. I don't know if this will be out by then, but I'm trying to get back out there. It's just the whole COVID thing kind of made things a little weird, but hopefully we can get on the road. I know we're doing Boston in September.
Oh, yeah.
I know we're getting prepared for that, and we have a lot of bigger projects coming with the podcast, and hopefully we can do some shop traveling in different cities as well.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully the Central Coast is one of the spots we can hit. Yeah, I got a lot of plans for a bunch of different projects, so I was just putting them into the works. There's not enough days in the week, man.
Dude, for sure. There's not enough time. So from after working at Hollywood Stars, how'd you end up coming back to the Valley, man?
I didn't want to be broke.
Oh yeah, I can totally see that. Yeah.
I lived in San Francisco at the time. It was very expensive, and I just decided that I wanted to come home and, you know, be with my family a little bit more. I still don't see them as much as I should because I work so much, but it's just something about being closer that makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, San Francisco is very expensive. I could have made it. It just it's definitely a grind.
Dude, yeah. But you were like kind of living in three cities at the same time while you were doing that, weren't you? You were like here sometimes in LA, and then all the way going back to San Francisco. Dude, sometimes I would have to, like, for sure always look up, like, your social media to make sure where you're at, like.
Oh yeah, dude. I was traveling so much back then that, like, even still today, people are like, they think I moved or some shit. I don't know, like, how
Dude,
that
yeah.
happens. But yeah, I was paying like 4 rents at one time. But yeah, everyone, like, be sure to look out for different things on our Body Art Banter Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe for the page. Everything really helps because a lot of things you have to unlock. So any of you guys that are watching, like, we really appreciate all the support
Thank
and
you so much.
everyone following us. We have plans to do a pop-up in South Carolina with the Lost Cove, and we've been invited to do the podcast there. We're going to have a couple more episodes, hopefully even before then. But any support, you know, any shout outs, thanks, you know, like,
Yeah, we super appreciate it.
and those of you that are still watching towards the end, you the real ones.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sticking it out.
Yeah, and go ahead and just, you know, screenshot this, shout us out on your Instagram, and we'll give you a little shout out on our social media. Is there anything that you wanted to let them know that you're doing right now, Zeek?
You know what? I'm out here working. That's all I want to let you guys know. I'm out here working. But you know what? I think soon we're gonna have like another new design for the shop for the online shop, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do another drop. We're just trying to figure out whose t-shirt design we're gonna do. So Keep an eye out for that.
Oh yeah, so keep an eye out, and then once that comes out, I will be doing another scavenger hunt. So if you're from Tulare, Visalia area, you want to get some free stuff, I think the next city I'm doing it in is in Tulare. So yeah, just keep a lookout. Check out my story. Check out the shop story, and you'll get some free stuff, man. And like Joseph said, thank you guys for watching. We couldn't do this without you guys, and we do this for you guys. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Israel for the audio.
Yeah, shout out to Israel.
He's the man in the back.
Yeah, the magic man behind the scenes.
All right, cross contamination. No, I'm just kidding.
No, just come on. Cross contamination on 3.
All right, that's cool, probably.